Hey everybody, it's our first Friday night movie review. I really wanted to see Chappie, but it wasn't in the theater, so instead we saw It Follows. It's gotten really great reviews so far, so we thought, let's give it a try. So, just a heads up, we are going to spoil this movie for you, so...
If you haven't seen
it and you plan on seeing it, turn off our video right now, we don't mind, because we're going to give away everything.
Yeah, so first off, it becomes glaringly obvious in the first 20 minutes. The entire movie is about getting an STD. Some form of deadly STD, one that's going to kill you.
What's a real shame is this film had so much potential. You saw the trailer and you're like, man, that looks like it could be really, really scary. And it could have been, but it was this kind of ultra slow build to jump scares.
Yeah.
Which would have been fine, but that really slow build was too slow and they were too far between.
And not only that, it was the same slow build over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Basically, the girl sees the thing, takes off running.
Walking slowly.
Yeah, takes off running.
Leaves all her friends behind.
Leaves all her friends behind. Her friends catch up. They regroup, go somewhere far away. It comes, it finds her, and then repeat.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again for the entire movie.
I had two really big problems with it. First was the score. It was like they got a 10-year-old with a synthesizer to write the music for this thing. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It sounded like the soundtrack for a early 80s video game.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. It was more distracting. Like, it didn't add anything to it. It was just distracting.
If anything, the score was so bad that it actually pulled you out of the film. Like, scenes that really should have been full of tension and suspense, you were like, God, this music's really bad.
Yeah.
And the second thing was, they almost couldn't decide what kind of scary movie they wanted to make. They had a lot of shaky cam, they had a lot of long, lingering shots, like some kind of art house kind of thing, and then they had a lot of the 360-degree spin-arounds.
If you get motion sickness at all,
avoid
do not
this movie.
see this movie. At least do not see it in theaters. I had to close my eyes numerous times because I was starting to get sick. Even if you don't have motion sickness, skip this in theaters and just rent it if you really want to see it.
It's not worth the $10 or $12, however much it costs to go to the movies where you are.
Another thing that I really had a problem with was the ending. Her best friend decides that he's going to help her get rid of this thing, so they're going to lure it into a pool and then get her out and throw all these electronics in and kill it. Which, of course, doesn't work because that's just...
That's the way horror movies work.
Yeah, that's the way horror movies work. But, first of all, when he suggested this, I thought he was going to drown her and then bring her back, and then because she's died, she's no longer in his cycle. Apparently, that didn't cross anybody's mind, because to me, that sounds brilliant.
Yeah, apparently
if she's already dead, why is this thing going to come for her? I don't know.
Nobody in this film watched Final Destination.
Yeah. And then it almost seems like the electrocution thing should have worked because it wouldn't get in the water.
Right.
But then again, it could have just been toying with her. I kind of wanted them to figure out a way for it to skip her, and then instead of ending with those two walking, holding hands, and it following, they could have cut to the asshole who gave it to her, opening his front door and it's walking towards him or something like that, and roll credits.
One last jump scare.
Yeah, like that would have been a good ending.
The film ends on a slow build-up, and that's not how horror movies end. Horror movies end on a jump scare.
Yeah,
and this one didn't. It was just like, oh look, it's
following.
Still there. It's
still walking
It
towards
follows.
him.
Like this movie it's not called It Follows. It's called It Follows.
The vast majority of the movie, I spent almost like looking at a Where's Waldo book, where where's the person following that's gonna kill the pretty blonde?
Because it's almost always in the background somewhere.
Yeah, you pick it out. You're like, ooh, there it is. What's she gonna notice?
And you almost feel good about yourself, like, oh, found it.
Yes, it felt like Where's Waldo.
It did have a couple of really neat moments. I don't want to just shit all over this thing.
No, like we said before, it's not a terrible movie. It's just not a movie theater movie.
The movie, it really peaks when they're on the beach. And she's talking to her friends, and it's walking up behind her the whole time. And at first you think it's one of the other friends, because she looks kind of similar.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, it's this is totally going to be one of those bait and switch. It's the inevitable cat jumping out of the cupboard, right? But no, it turns out it actually is the It Follows monster, and it comes up behind her, and then as the viewer you can't see it anymore, and it pulls her hair up, kind of like a scene from one of the Paranormal Activity films where it pulls the little girl up and is holding her off, like up off the floor by her hair. Almost the same exact scenario. But then Paul, her friend, folds up a lawn chair, because those things are so sturdy, and whacks it across the back, and then it just knocks him 20, 30 feet through the air.
Yeah.
And so then finally people
That
start
was
believing
actually
her.
a great scene. Like,
Yeah.
that was kind of scary. Out of 5 stars, I would probably give this 3 out of 5 stars. It's
3?
not, yeah.
I would go 2.
I would like, it wasn't a terrible movie. Yeah, maybe. Let's do 2.5, because it wasn't quite 3. But I don't think it was bad enough to warrant a 2. So I will give it 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
I'm gonna say 2.
And like, if you rent it at home and you watch it with your friends, it'd probably be a pretty fun movie.
Yeah.
It's unless you scare easily, don't go into it thinking you're watching a scary movie, because it's really not that scary.
It's not
Besides
the kind of
that
thing,
beach scene, it's really not that scary.
It's not gonna terrify you throughout. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And tomorrow we'll be doing our topic of the week video. So please, in the comments down below, give us a topic. We're going to take the one that we think we can make the best video out of, and that'll be our Saturday videos. It doesn't have to be about horror films or Walking Dead or any of the other stuff you've seen videos of ours.
Basically anything in the entire geekdom.
Yeah.
Anything.
If there's a fandom out there and you want to see a video from us on it,
Let us know.
put it in the comments. See you next time.